مثل الجسد إذا اشتكى منه عضو تداعى له سائر الجسد بالسهر والهمة. The Muslims are like a body. If one limb hurts, aches, or feels pain, all parts of the body feel the pain and expresses it through fever or high temperature and lack of sleep. Indeed, it is hard for us to sleep in comfort as we see the scenes, Muslims beaten to death on the street, some of them even burned alive or shot dead, their heads and faces bleeding. This scene goes through our minds and plays again and again, and it is very hard to get these pictures out of our minds. They haunt us during the day and night. And this reminds us of the horrible atrocities committed in Gujarat a few years ago, as hundreds of Muslims, men, women, and children were burned alive. And the culprits perpetrating these crimes, bragging about their atrocities, the atrocities they committed on fellow human beings, and even posting videos about them. So we ask, how can human beings go down to this level of humanity, inhumanity, and cruelty, and commit such atrocities to fellow human beings and fellow citizens? This is a question that we must ask, and we must find the answers so that we can relate to this event and deal with challenges appropriately. Many of the living report from Delhi, they report they never experienced such hatred and violence in their entire life. They have been living with most Hindus in peace and harmony for so many years. So the answer, need to find an answer, and the answer is this has been nurtured and planted. The seeds have been planted, and it has been nourished over many, many years. I was doing a master's program in Islamic studies at the University of Toronto in 1972, and in one of the seminars I took with Professor Aziz Ahmad, who was an expert on Indian Muslim history, he said in the seminar course that the Brahminical Hindus in India are studying the methods that the Christians in Spain used to exterminate Muslims from Spain. When I heard that from my professor, I laughed it off. I thought he is living in his ivory tower. He doesn't know what's happening in India, and I thought I knew better, so I dismiss it out of hand. But now, when we see what is unfolding before our eyes, I see the professor is right, and his prophecy is being materialized. How did it happen? Of course, this started through demonization, and they have been going on in the West. Of course, for centuries, the Crusaders used in their fight against Muslims, they started demonizing Muslims, and it was taken over by others who are opposed to Islam for whatever reason, and they demonize and they project Islam and Muslims as terrorists. So the kind of question that we should ask, how do we respond to this? These kind of challenges. Of course, it is easy for us to react to this through another form of Islamic racism or xenophobia. Racism is antithetical to Islam, There is no room for racism in Islam. So if someone is demonizing Muslims or stereotypes them or tries to demonize Muslims and condemn all Muslims, we cannot react to this by stereotyping or condemning all Hindus or Christians or all Jews. If we do that, we are playing into their hands. We know that what they are practicing in the name of Hinduism is not the Hinduism that majority of Hindus believe in India. It is rather a version of Hinduism, the bigots who use religion and caste to divide and rule and grab power. So it is important for us not to play into their hands, for they will succeed if they make it a Hindu-Muslim issue. This is not a Hindu-Muslim issue. It is fascism and Nazism disguising under the slogan of Hindu religion. So just like there are terrorists calling themselves Muslims under the banner of Caliphate, these are the Hindus, some Hindus, so-called Hindus, using their religion to terrorize others or their enemies, whom they consider their enemies. We see no difference between these two groups of terrorists, whether they are Hindus, call themselves Hindus, or Muslims, or Christians or Jews. Whoever using religion to spread hatred and animosity and demonize others, they are misusing religion. And we as Muslims can never forget the humanity, the compassion, egalitarianism, and brotherhood, the common brotherhood of human family, the great ideal that Islam teaches. Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qabaila lita'arafu. O mankind, we created you all from a single pair of a male and female and rendered you into nations and tribes in order for you to know each other, not to fight, not to wage war. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Indeed, the noblest of you in the sight of Allah is the one who is most conscious of Him. So the fight in India is not a fight between Islam and Hinduism. It is a fight for the soul of India. India has been a great country where all religions have been living, thriving and living in peace for centuries. So we need to unite with all decent and peaceful people, whether they belong to Hinduism or Christianity or Sikhism or Buddhism or any religion or ideology. We need to unite with them to save the soul of India. The struggle indeed is hard and long, but we must never give up, no matter the trials and tribulations we face. We must never lose hope. We ought to continue the struggle by visualizing success or light at the end of the tunnel. As the Messenger of Allah taught us, while he was facing mountain-like challenges in Mecca, where some of his followers were lynched to death, one companion came to him and asked, "How long do we have to suffer?" The Prophet ﷺ said, "I will continue the struggle until a young lady can travel all the way from Hira to Haram without any fear of assault." He meant that he will continue the struggle until the whole all of Arabia is brought under the rule of law and peace. Now, I would like to mention a few action tips that we should immediately act upon and do so consistently. Number one is we ought to provide all forms of moral, financial, and other supports for those who are struggling to salvage or to bring back the soul of India to the pluralism, the secularism, and democratic institutions which have been undermined by these so-called rulers who have assumed power in India. We should do everything at our disposal, whatever we can. This is a struggle, this is a real jihad. Many people confuse jihad as the military warfare. Our jihad is exhausting our efforts. The very word jihad comes from juhd or jahd. And as Imam Shawaliullah and others said, jihad and ijtihad involves exhausting all of the efforts we human beings can expend so that there is no more effort that we can expend. So this is what is required of us, utmost effort to support, to give all moral and financial and other forms of support for those who are struggling in India to retrieve the soul of India. And number two, we must recognize that the media in the West in large measure is biased. As you can see, even the so-called Guardian newspapers and other newspapers, when you read the news about what's happening in India, it's always biased against Muslims, as many of them project this as a Hindu-Muslim issue where there is nothing on the part of, it is perpetrated, it's an attack on Muslims by a group of bigots, Nazist, fascist type of people who want to target Muslims. It is not supposed to be presented as a Hindu-Muslim riot or a Hindu-Muslim issue. So we need to mobilize. We cannot depend on this media to get the facts out. We have a lot of internet IT people among Muslims in Canada and elsewhere. We need to mobilize all of our resources, the alternative media, to bring out the facts accurately and objectively. Until we do that, this is a real jihad actually. Jihad should be won through the pen and the social media, and news media is the biggest weapon. News outlet, electronic and print media is the biggest weapon that the enemies of Islam are using. So we should be able to use this media. If we don't use it effectively, the shayateen will use it for their goals. And another important issue that comes to my mind, every Muslim should, no Muslim should give in to spreading rumors and fake news. There are a lot of fake news on the social media. It is haram for us. It is condemned by Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhal nas, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu in ja'akum fasiqum binabayyin fatabayyanu. Or you believe, when a person of no integrity, without any integrity, moral integrity, comes with a news, don't pass it on unless you verify it. Don't act upon it unless you check the facts. So we need to read between the facts and verify, authenticate the news before we pass it on. Muslims, insofar as they can win the battle, we can only do so by dispensing the message of mercy inherent in Islam. That is the way for us to win the hearts. Islamic history provides so many glaring examples of how Islam won over the hearts of those enemies who came to fight Islam and Muslims. You have the story of the Turks, the Mongols, the Tatars. All of them initially were against Islam and they fought Muslims, Finally, Islam conquered their hearts and minds. There is a prophecy in Hujjatullah al-Baligha of Imam Shawaliullah that he foresees a future for Islam in India when the Hindus will recognize the beauty of Islam and they will be won over. Let's hope that will happen, and we should be instrumental for achieving that. We expend all of our efforts in using the opportunity and facing these challenges and countering it by presenting the beauty of Islam to our own actions, compassionate works, charitable works, and also our attempts to bring justice for the downtrodden and the weak and the suffering. Surely the future is bright for us. Let the people of India see the true Islam and not the Islam of the kings and emperors and terrorists. Islam of the devout Muslims, devout Hindus will recognize it. Finally, we need to keep praying for our fellow brothers and sisters in Islam and humanity. We may do so in all of our prayers, especially in tahajjud and early morning prayers. We should also, this should be an opportunity for us to start Qunutun Nazila. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam set the precedent for it, that when Muslims are faced with insurmountable challenges, the precedent is set for us to recite Qunutun Nazila, which can be recited in prayer, the last rak'ah of prayer. It can be done in Fardh prayer. It can be done in Witr prayer. Instead of Qunut of Witr, we can do Qunutun Nazila as we rise up in I'tidal before going to Sujood. We recite Qunutun Nazila and then go to Sujood. I have collected a few du'as which can be used in this occasion, and I will email it, the PDF version of it, to Brother Sarfraz, inshallah, and he can pass it on. And later on, it's a long one, and I will also translate it later on, inshallah, as soon as I can, inshallah. So with this, I conclude the speech, the talk, and I ask Brother Sarfraz, are there any questions? If there are no questions, we can recite the dua, and you can all say Ameen, inshallah. I hope I have covered the main issues, and I'm also writing a little article of how to face the trials and challenges, some of the tips from the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It will be ready, inshallah, by Sunday or maybe Monday, and it will be posted on my site, as well as it will be later on appearing on islam.ca and aboutislam.net, inshallah. I hope this short talk is sufficient.
Yeah, inshallah, jazakallah khair for your timely advice on this issue, actually. So, has anyone have any doubts? So we can take for maybe 1 or 2 minutes, then we can have our dua, inshallah. Anyone has any questions to share? You can unmute it and you can ask a question.
Is there any, my name is Abdu Samad, I'm calling from New York. Is there any collective Muslim?
Can Sarfraz repeat the question, because I cannot hear it properly?
Yeah. Abdu Samad, can you lift your voice, actually? Can you be a little louder?
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdu Samad. I'm calling from New York. Is there any collective effort from Muslim organizations in India? Because I've any such sort of acts that happen, and I've never seen any collective words, collective, we can say, effort from the Indian Muslim community speaking against any of these things. So, is there something of that sort? Is there something, just asking? Is there a
Surely,
collective of that?
I think there are the Muslims in face of these challenges. I see all of the Muslims getting together, including those who used to consider each other as kuffar, like even the Kantapuram group has joined hands with others, and they are all working together, inshallah, against these challenges. And they have expressed themselves. And also, a lot of Hindus have come out. And you have among Muslims the so-called, the ex justice of High Court, Pasha, and two other lawyers, Hindu lawyers, and one I see officer who was close with Modi. He has also come out and he has given a lot of lectures against this so-called bills, which is targeting Muslims, actually targeting Muslims and ghettoizing them. And a lot of efforts, part of Muslim League, Jamaat Islami and others, they are working together. Surely this is a good sign that it has awakened the Muslim community, and even the Shia, who was refusing and in a way supporting Modi, they have also united with the Sunni Muslims, because even their institution was attacked, and the Maulana was stripped and he was assaulted. The children was assaulted in the madrasa, and later on I realized this was a Shia institution. So this has become a challenge that has united Muslims. So we need to seize this opportunity. Here also we wish to unite with everyone, not just Muslims, but with Hindus and Christians, because it is now Muslims actually. This is the whole ideology, the philosophy is the Brahmanical Hinduism. Their ideology is the caste system actually. You have the four varnas, and then you have Shudras, the lowest, and then outcasts, Dalits, and others who don't belong in India. So first they will attack Muslims, and then of course the communists and Christians and Dalits, and of course then they are going to implement the so-called law of Manu, and actually it's very, very discriminatory. This is the agenda they have, as many of these people, Hindus, very intellectual type of Hindus have, their presentations are there for us. We need to listen to their presentations and study where this is heading. So this is really a grave challenge. If we don't wake up now, we will never wake up.
Okay, Jazakallah khair, Sheikh and also Abdu Samad. If you don't have any other questions, then inshallah, we can go for the dua, inshallah.
I have compiled a lot of these duas. I will email them to you, inshallah, in PDF. I will read them now. The title is Duas for the Mustada'afin, the oppressed and the persecuted, Muslims and others. Allahumma inna nahmaduka wa nasta'inuk wa nu'minu bika wa natawakkalu alayk wa nusni alayka al-khayra wa la nakfuruk. Allahumma iyyaka na'budu wa laka nusalli wa nasjud wa ilayka nasa wa nahfid. نرجو رحمتك ونخشى عذابك إن عذابك الجد بالكفار ملحق. اللهم إنا نسألك بأن لك الحمد لا إله إلا أنت الحنان بديع السماوات والأرض. اللهم إنا نسألك بأننا نشهد أنك أنت الله لا إله إلا أنت الأحد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك بكل اسم لك سميت به نفسك أو علمته واحدا من خلقك أو استغفرت به في علم الغيب عندك، ونسألك بحق السائلين عليك وبحق المظلومين المستضعفين عليك. اللهم اجعل للمسلمين في الهند فرجا ومخرجا. Say Amin, please. اللهم اجعل للمسلمين في الهند فرجا ومخرجا. اللهم
آمين.
اجعل لهم فرجا ومخرجا. اللهم اجعل لهم فرجا ومخرجا. اللهم احقن دماءهم واحفظ أعراضهم وآمنهم في وطنهم واكشف عنهم البلاء. اللهم اكشف عنهم البلاء. اللهم اكشف عنهم البلاء. اللهم قاتل الظلمة المتجبرين يا جبار يا قهار يا قاتل المتجبرين الفجار. اللهم خذهم أخذ عزيز مقتدر. اللهم إنا نجعلك في نهورهم ونعوذ بك من شرورهم، واره البلاد والعباد من شرورهم. اللهم عليك بهم إنهم لا يعجزونك. اللهم أرنا فيهم عجائب قدرتك. اللهم اجعل الدائرة عليهم. اللهم اجعل تدميرهم في تدبيرهم. اللهم اجعل جندهم جدا عليهم. اللهم اجعل سجنهم سجنا عليهم. يا عزيز يا جبار يا متكبر يا قهار. اللهم الطف بعبادك المسلمين في كل مكان يا رحمن يا رحيم. اللهم انصر الإسلام وعز المسلمين وعلي بفضلك رايتي الحق والدين. اللهم أنعم علينا بالأمن والأمان يا لطيف يا منان. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم احفظ إخواننا المستضعفين في كل مكان. اللهم فرج كربتهم وأعنهم في مهنتهم. اللهم اجعل هذه المهنة بردا وسلاما عليهم أجمعين. اللهم كما نجيت محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم من الكفار نجي المسلمين في الهند وفي كشمير وفي الصين وفي بورما وسوريا وفلسطين ويمن وأفغانستان وفي بقاع الأرض من هذه المهنة. اللهم يا مخرج يونس من بطن الحوت أخرجهم من هذه المهنة. اللهم كما أخرجت إبراهيم من النار وجعلتها بردا وسلاما عليه أخرجهم من هذه المهنة واجعلها بردا وسلاما عليهم. اللهم أدخل البهجة والسرور والاطمئنان على قلوب المسلمين. اللهم ارحم ضعف قوتهم وقلة حيلتهم وهوانهم على الناس. اللهم فرج عنهم ما هم فيه وهب لهم فرجا عاجلا غير عاجل برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم لا تدع لهم هما ولا كربا ولا دينا إلا فرجته ولا مريضا إلا شفيته ولا سجينا ولا أسيرا إلا فككت أسره برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اجعل كيد أعداء المسلمين في نهورهم واهزمهم شر هزيمة، فإنك أنت القوي العزيز الذي لا يرد بأسك عن القوم المجرمين. نسأل الله العظيم بأسمائه الحسنى وصفاته العلى وباسمه الأعظم الذي إذا سئل به أعطى وإذا دعي به أجاب أن يلقى بكل ظالم وطاغية العذاب، وأن يلينا فيه يوما عبوسا قمطريرا في الدنيا والآخرة، ويكف شره عن إخواننا المسلمين والمستضعفين في كل مكان. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على أكرم الخلق محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Wow. Wow. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh, for your timely advice for us who are living here and also who are living in India, facing very difficult situation. Also, Jazakallah khair for all our brothers and sisters who have joined this class and dua majlis in a very short notice period. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
So, inshallah, I will email you the PDF and the translation later on if you need it. It can be used. We can select parts of it. You don't need to read all of it. Inshallah.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
So can we leave the meeting now?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Inshallah.